Hey guys, it's me, the Siborg, and welcome to the Siborg Reviews. This episode, I'm going to be talking about a classic, and this is the very first episode as well, so that's kind of weird for me. And it's called Alien. For those of you who know that film, it's, well, in other words, practically everybody knows that film. Who doesn't? I don't know. Anyway, Alien is directed by Ridley Scott and is built as the start of a massive franchise that's still going today, which is crazy. This thing started in 1979. Yeah. 1979. And it stars Sigourney Weaver, it's Tom Skerritt, and let's get into it. So it starts off, the crew of the Nostromo are woken up from hypersleep to a distress call coming from this planet. But it turns out this distress call is more a signal, well, a warning of their impending doom. And don't know how much clearer I could say that. Impending doom. So, Tom Skerritt and Veronica Cartwright, and of course the legendary John Hurt, have been set out to go and investigate this signal, and when they find a crashed juggernaut, piloted by this engineer who looks like he's been victim of a facehugger. And of course, this... Apologies there, the dog was just going mental, so had to try and calm him down. But anyway, back to it. He's been a victim of a facehugger. And there, of course, that's where we get introduced to the facehugger, which is a scary little fucker. Excuse the language. But yeah, it's pretty terrifying. The way it just latches itself onto John Hurt's face. Yeah. There's the sexual imagery here in this film is pretty dominant, from the way the creature actually kills you, also the way that the alien creature has a second tongue, which looks like a mouth. Second tongue, that's... The way the alien creature has a second mouth, basically a tongue like a mouth. That's pretty terrifying. It's kind of like it's delving into some deep sexual thing, disturbing thing. And of course, we pretty much have H.R. Giger to thank for that. I mean, his design has been pretty brilliant for the aliens in this franchise as a whole, I think. And the next thing I'm going to get onto is the visuals here. Especially when it comes to visuals, nobody can direct sci-fi like Ridley Scott, really. Especially when it comes to the visuals, because his films are very beautiful. They're very beautiful to look at, and you can tell all of this is actually practical effects as well, or at least most of it. Because he likes to shoot things, get things in front of a camera, and not have to deal with the CGI stuff that comes into the next few films. And the next thing, of course, I'm going to go on about is the way that the Captain Dallas, and Veronica Cartwright are all wanting to get on back on the ship, but of course Ripley isn't going to let them back on the ship because nobody knows what that thing actually is. And in fairness, to a degree, I think, well, you might as well let Captain Dallas and Veronica Cartwright back on the ship, but I kind of see her motives there, because nobody actually knows what this thing actually is. Another thing this film does pretty well as well. I didn't really realise this at the time because I haven't actually seen it until I was about 19, so I got to appreciate it a lot more, but I didn't actually realise that they didn't have a clear-cut protagonist for quite a bit of the film. For a little while you'd think, is it Captain Dallas? It turns out that's not the case. For quite a while you're thinking, maybe it's the whole crew as the main protagonist. But nah, it turns out and you don't really have one until Sigourney Weaver steps in halfway through as Ellen Ripley. She's the one that has to deal with the creature, and also the one that's still following protocol, which I think is pretty much the best thing about this film, or at least one of the best things, that there's no clear-cut protagonist. And it turns out that the protagonist really is the only one seeing sense here. She's the only one getting stuff done. And let's get on to that alien a bit more, shall we? Yeah? First of all, I'm going to be talking about the iconic chestburster scene, which is very effective. You can almost say it was realistic. In fact, so realistic that not even the cast knew. So that's pretty something, isn't it? It's deep. It buries deep into your sexual feels. Something quite disturbing. This film is, and just showing that scene, you forget sometimes that that's their actual reactions to the creature bursting out of John Hurt's chest. And my God, is it amazing. It's just looking at that scene, you think. I'm going to get into a few spoilers now. First of all, I'm sorry for the editing being all over the place. This phone isn't... Yeah, I'm using my camera phone again. Hopefully soon I won't have to do that. But anyway, back into the film. A few spoilers ahead. So if you haven't seen this film, I assume most of you have seen this classic film. If you haven't, what the hell are you doing watching this? Go and watch the film, idiot. But anyway, Ash is an android. Yeah, he's an android. Helping a company known as the Wayland Corporation, or at this point it's just known as the company. We don't really realise that until later films. And he's helping get this specimen, the big xenomorph creature. Yeah, the one that burst out of John Hurt's chest, trying to get it to Earth. And at the crew's expense. And when people find out that this Ian Holm is an android, everybody just freaks out. At least I freaked out when I saw that he was an android. I assume a lot of people have, because it started back in 1979 and it's a big reveal, a big twist. So yeah, I assume people were pretty freaked out. I know people were freaked out at the big massive alien that was a little tiny chestburster dude, and now it's grown into a giant mega monster beast thing. Let's get onto that alien a bit more, shall we? This thing is so heckin' cool. It's a shame that none of the alien creatures that follow alien designs that followed it topped this up, because they very well should have done. This thing is just terrifying. And another great thing about this that Scott decided not to show this creature too much. So kind of like in the Jaws film, the creature's not seen too much. But when it's there, you're squitting your pants. Just it's been kept in the shadows mostly, but what I love is just one shot in the director's cut. It's just one shot, and that's of the alien itself for the first time as a fully formed beast, and it's just hanging there. It's literally just hanging there. No music and nothing. In fact, my first reaction when I saw that, I was just like, is that? Oh my god. And you don't get that nowadays. It's a shame, really, but that's modern horror films for you. Hopefully somebody can change that. I mean, I've seen The Conjuring and all those other horror films, which I will be talking about, and those are pretty terrifying. I look at them and I think, yeah, that's the kind of horror film I want to see in my generation. But also, this is kind of interesting because while this does follow the horror trope of bunking off people, if you know what I mean. If you're a horror fan, you'll know what I'm on about. Normally, it's the black guy getting killed off first, but on this occasion, it isn't. It is instead the black guy's partner. Well, I say partner, work partner, I mean. And, well, I mean, he still gets killed off. Then the rest of the crew gets killed off. Captain Dallas in the air shaft, which is another very terrifying scene. This scene is made by Veronica Cartwright's desperate performance, and also the tension of this real living ship, the Nostromo. It just feels so lived in, and what you're seeing there is the air shaft, of course. Captain Dallas is inside it, and then this thing just jumps out at him just as he's about to get out, and he's just like, that's pretty terrifying, to say the least. And then, just as soon as all the crew's bunked off, it's now Ripley and Jones, the cat. Yes, the cat. Versus the big mega beast. And that's where the squid gets real. A lot more real. And that just makes history there. This film's made a lot of history, of course, especially in the sci-fi horror genre, and started off a massive franchise. It's still going today with the latest entry, which came out last year, known as Alien Covenant. I gotta be honest, including the not as good Alien films, I don't actually have anything to say. Well, I do have bad things to say about them, but I don't have any hatred towards any of them, unlike a lot of people. I don't even hate Resurrection. Well, that's out of the main Alien films anyway, including Prometheus and Covenant. This, I give Alien, Siborg gives Alien a 10 out of 10. So that'll do it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm hoping I'll get a bit better with all this towards, the more I keep doing these reviews, the better I'll be. And hopefully a better picture quality as well will be helpful, because the light in here, it might be appropriate for the film I'm talking about, but you can't really see my face very well right now. That's mostly because I've actually been taking quite a bit longer than I thought editing all this together, especially as the storage on my phone kept filling up, so I had to clear it. But anyway, I'm just going to wrap things up now. I hope you all enjoyed this. Like, subscribe, and let me know if you want me to, what you want me to review next. If you want me to, let's get to 100 likes if you want me to review the new Halloween film. But in the meantime, this is episode 1 in the books. Also, another thing as well, I've already reviewed Alien Isolation. Just thought I did that on the Gaming Cube podcast. But yes, this is episode 1 in the books, in the cinema, and out.